Evening all. So here we go. This is the Forge Gun Spotlight. The Forge Gun is something I use a huge amount, and this is just a compilation of a number of the kills and also some of the weaknesses of this gun, and we'll go through it. So the Forge Gun is maybe probably the most misunderstood gun available to you. Firstly, let's talk about availability. It is completely available to you as you start the game. You can buy a militia heavy suit, which is I think 700 ISK, and that's in the militia part of the market. And you can also buy a militia forge gun, which is I think about 7,000 ISK. It could even be cheaper than that. So from the word go, you can have this very setup I'm using here now. I only run a repper on the low and a damage one on the high, just to give it a bit more punch. But the forge gun is basically also, consider it an anti-material sniper rifle. It's very much like a 50 caliber sniper rifle you get in modern day, like the AS50 or something like that, where basically it just punches holes through things. So you can even take tanks out, as I'm showing you here. This is a particularly good takedown. I think now it's just a standard tank, but even so, pretty funny. And it's also incredibly good at taking down dropships. In fact, I would say that's the real reason we use forge guns as a group, is whenever somebody shouts dropship, we all basically quickly run to a supply depot, refit into forge guns, and as you can see here, we had 3 dropships. It's quite funny. Obviously, they're trying some crafting as well, but some theory crafting around maybe 3 dropships and how they could own. Well, they don't. 2 forge gunners basically just destroy them and take them down, which is really good. And basically I think this is something to really consider, because when if there is one thing in the game that is a bit overpowered at the moment, it's probably tanks. But if you have a select group of forge gunners who really know what they're doing, then no vehicle is an opponent to you. So please consider having a real look at this fit. So this is just, as I say, the standard militia forge gun, and you can see it's pretty much packing a punch. The only issue with forge guns is you do need level 5 of weaponry to use the actual decent ones. So it's a bit of a pain that it takes so much to get, but when you see how good they are, you can obviously see why it may be worth your consideration. This thing is just a phenomenal thing. So here we go, another day, another match, shooting down another dropship. Basically, it usually just 2-shot them, and you can see there, basically just shot this thing out of the sky. The ground, boom, boom, death. So this is why I would say they're particularly good things. Also, forge guns are immense at taking out LAVs, or the buggies. And I think also when, it's something to consider, because usually when you're being redlined or you are redlining someone, that's when, weirdly enough, people usually spawn a lot of buggies. So have a consideration, because if you spawn a forge gunner, you can basically take out those buggies incredibly easily with one shot and get a good kill. Plus you get a lot of points for it. Now, also you can do that. The forge gun is probably the best sniper rifle in the game. if you can do it and you can kind of aim and line it up, and it does take a bit of practice, but I would say the forge gun is probably one of the better guns out there to snipe with as well, because it not only kills players. Okay, it doesn't have a zoom function, CCP if you're watching, pretty cool. But I think it's just you get accustomed to using it, where as long as you understand the range and you understand how it works, you can actually snipe people with this thing way across the map. And I think that's certainly how I use it. I was just using it just then. This thing is a beast, and I think really that's the purpose of it, to be honest, is that it's incredibly good at shooting down people, tanks, dropships, everything. It is a true, as I say, anti-material rifle. It really does live up to its name. Now, there are obviously issues with using this gun, because some people like this dude's obviously a particularly good dropship pilot, so only one forge gunner won't take him down, because he's obviously got a good fit, he's tanking, he's able to evade and all that good stuff. So, sometimes I would say a forge gun won't kill everything, but I think it will just disrupt their operations enough. So, if you're getting a shot on a tank, may not kill it, but it will actually make him get the hell out of dodge, because again, what you're trying to do is kind of change their behaviour from attack to defence. So now here you go, there you go. If you're going to use the forge gun to take out troops, aim at their feet. It's a missile launcher, I guess, in essence. So always try and aim at their feet, and what you'll then do is you'll effectively create an explosion, obviously beneath them, and then the splash damage hits them. In terms of damage, this thing hits for about 1200 DPS, or DPS, HP. each shot. So that's 1,200 hit points per shot, with a splash damage of around 150 to 200. So it's pretty good. You know, you'll take someone to half armor if you splash damage them. You can get better variants of this. There is a forge gun that actually hits for 2,000 with a splash damage pretty high as well, but it has a longer charge time. So again, you know, there's always going to be trade-offs with these weapons, but I think when you look at how they work, you see again I aimed at his legs or his feet, just because then you know you're going to hit at least something. But I think really the power of these guns is based around, you know, they are railguns effectively. When they say a forge gun, they actually just mean this is a mobile railgun, like a turret. So this turret which stood behind now is effectively the same thing. So, but the splash damage makes it particularly good, and I think if you put a good damage mod on it, they do a fair bit of damage, just generally. So, you know, I think they're viable as a weapon, but I would say every player should have a forge gun suit just set. Each loss costs you something like, you know, what the 10,000k is tops. So they're just ridiculously cheap. Plus the power you'll get and the ability to kind of, you know, take out their vehicles, I say, is not to be underestimated. So, you know, I think seriously consider just setting one up. Even if it's a militia, everything is still pretty good. Because a couple of forge gunners will take out a pretty well fit tank. Do you know what I mean? If you're both firing in unison and you're controlling in comms what you do. And it'll kill any dropship in the game. It doesn't matter how well tanked they are, it'll still get absolutely splatted. So you know, it's good fun, and I think the forge gun as a weapon, I think also is a bit of a scary one. So when people obviously hear and see you charging, they know that you've got a shot ready to go. So you know they can't, if they rush you, they know they've got to kill you really quickly. And because you've got the heavy suit, you're going to take a bit of damage before you actually drop. So. Well worth considering. It's a great anti-sniper weapon as well, because obviously a lot of snipers generally fit assault suits, logistic suits, things like that. And I think with this thing, you can take a couple of sniper shots before it becomes an issue. And also just the ability to shoot across the map as well is a bit of a shock. Plus you can also, like the mass driver, hit near them and kill them, and that's obviously the thing. So a lot of it's not necessarily always about getting the hit direct on, it's actually just about firing near them, getting splash damage and taking a shot down for the next kill, that kind of thing. So, you know, it is a particularly viable weapon, I would say. And plus it's fun. I mean, I always have a blast. Pretty much every map now I'm calling forge gun at some point. If we get red lined, it's a great weapon to do, and if you're also red lining, it's a great weapon as well, because you know you can just sit back and just shoot stuff really. So you know, it's pretty much what it is. So there we go. That was the forge gun. Just going to end with a quick bit of footage here. This was just then running around and killing people just for the hell of it. And I think really just, you know, in terms of a particular spotlight, I would say, you know, the forge gun is something that it takes a huge amount of skill to skill up for. But I think if you're kind of interested in that kind of style of play, then I'd say it's worth looking at. It's a fun gun as well. I mean, you can have a real kind of blast with it. I think literally a blast, and I would say it's probably one of those weapons that a lot of people just generally don't use, which is a shame really, because it is well, it's a very good gun, and I think that was pretty bad, wasn't it? I think it's one of those got blown up by a grenade. It was one of those guns, I think, that generally, you know, is not really considered as an actually particularly useful gun, but I disagree. I think it's an incredibly good gun, and I would say it's well worth your consideration for it. In terms of, again, good fits for it, there's not a lot you can do with the heavy suit. If you've unlocked a better heavy suit and you can actually put other stuff in, then, you know, I think it's well worth looking at doing that. The basic militia heavy suit is actually pretty useless. It's only got one mid and one low, so there's not a lot of flexibility there. I mean, I'd always say put an armor repper on your low, because people love to tank their suits out, but I think it's better just to be able to recover for a few moments and get some hit points back. So I always generally do repper fits now. And I think for the mid slot, or, you know, it's probably better just to put a damage mod on. Big debate going on at the moment whether or not it's better just to run and gun with damage or run and gun with buffer tank. I used to be buffer, but now I think actually I'd rather just run with a tank, a gank fit, because again, I think it's all just to do with you know, how quickly you can kill them. I mean, generally, if you get caught in an ambush, or if you get caught without, you know, if they see you before you see them, you're going to die generally. I mean, not all cases, but most cases, I'd say. So I would say a tricky one. Wow, this is a good gunfight. Who's going to win this? Him. There we go. Oh well, never mind. So there we go. That was the Forge Gun Spotlight. Hopefully that was good for you. Let me know in the comments, and please, if you could like and subscribe. If you're not, that would be awesome. That really helps me out. And please keep the comments coming. Let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm probably going to do a swarm launcher expose soon, but I don't use them that much. And I'm also going to do some more sniper rifles and assault rifles. But for now, hopefully that was okay. Talk to you